Hi gorgeous, and a very happy Frugal Friday to you. And we are kicking off Money Saving March today, where every video coming out over the next month will be drugstore or affordable themed related. So please make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos coming out this next month. Today I am comparing the Bad Habit Beauty Athena palette with the Huda Desert Dusk palette. Very special thank you goes out to Caitlin, who sent me an extra Athena palette that she had purchased accidentally. She wanted to see it compared with the Desert Dusk palette, which I'm more than happy to do. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for sending this to me. I know many of you have been asking me about these palettes from the Shop Hush website, which is where the Athena palette came from. So I'll be showing you a side-by-side application demonstration with each of these palettes. I've also included a wear test so you can see the longevity that you get with each of them. And I'll also include swatches at the end of the video so you can see the differences and the similarities between these two palettes up close. And I will let you know, is the Athena palette a really great dupe for the Desert Dusk palette or not? First things first, so we are applying an eyeshadow primer. I'm using the NYX Proof It today before I apply both of these palettes. As in my usual fashion, I am not going to tell you which side is high-end and which side is drugstore. You will just have to keep guessing. But I will have little icons here that pop up on the side of the screen with pictures of the palettes and the eyeshadows I'm using circled so that you know which ones are being applied. First eyeshadow I'm going to use is this gorgeous burnt sienna color, I want to call it. I don't really know how else to describe it, but it's such a pretty warm brown. I'm applying that directly into the crease to define it using a fluffy brush here from Makeup Geek. Same exact kind of thing on the other eye, except this brush is from, I think this is Sedona Lace. Yes, it's their EB15 brush. Haven't used this one in forever, but I love it. It's just like the Makeup Geek brush. No difference, really. Next, I'm taking this lighter orange shade from the palette, and I am lightly applying that above the first crease color to begin to blend it towards the brow. For the lid, I'm taking the deepest brown from both of these palettes, and I am going to use a fluffy brush to apply it. Fluffier the brush is when you apply a dark shade, the lighter application you'll get with it. So if you were to use a denser brush, you would get that intense color payoff. But that's not the look I'm going for here. I want this to be a little lighter, a little smokier looking. Also taking more of that dark brown and working it towards the outer V and extending it into the outer corner. Same method on the other eye. Applying with that fluffy brush to get that smoky lid. And the final eyeshadow I want to apply, because it doesn't really look like eyeshadow, it just looks like a mound of glitter in both of these palettes, is the most gorgeous conglomeration of colors I've ever seen in a glitter, so I have to use it. And I'm going to apply this on the center of the lid. Before I do that, I am going to be mixing it in with the NYX glitter glue. This stuff right here, because it's the only way that I can get this to stay on my eye. The way that I do it is I take a tiny amount of the glitter glue, I mean small, like about that much, and then I'll mix the pigment on the back of my hand and apply it like that. By the way, in both of these palettes, you have to be so careful when you pick up that glitter pigment because it's extremely soft. And if you're too hard with the brush and you apply too much pressure, it just starts to fall apart. I'm applying this directly in the center of the lid. How gorgeous is that? Oh, so pretty. In a sea of matte. It's one of my favorite things to apply glitter right in the middle of it all. And now that I have a little bit applied, I'm going to go back with a little more on the brush here and tap that over the top. Same thing on the other eye. I'm doing an entirely different application here with an entirely different brush. Same placement though, right in the center of the lid. And I like to get a good amount down on the lid first with the glitter glue, and then I'll go back with a little bit more of the pigment on the brush and tap it over the top. Is that not one of the most beautiful glitters you've ever seen? It's simply divine. I'm hoping it comes across on camera as beautiful as it is in person. It's simply breathtaking. Now that I have the eyeshadow application done, I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of the eyes and the face. What I am going to be using is the L'Oreal Super Slim black eyeliner pen on the upper lash line. I am then going to apply the Rimmel Scandaleyes pencil in brown on the lower waterline. For my lashes today, I'm using a pair from Coco Lashes. These are in the style GG. They are out of the package right now. They have become some of my new favorites. Absolutely love these. And we are done. That is the completed look. Last chance for guesses. No cheating. Can you guess which side is high-end and which side is drugstore? Is it A or is it B? If you guessed that this side is the high-end side and this side is the less expensive alternative, then you are right. Very impressed with the Athena palette. The color payoff is excellent, and I do feel like there are a good number of dupes in the Athena palette when compared to the Huda Beauty palette. Not every single eyeshadow is an exact dupe for the Huda Beauty palette, and as an example, you may have noticed during application that there was an orange shade I used to blend out the crease shade here, and the comparative shade in the Athena palette was a little pinker by comparison. So if you look closely, you can see it's a little more orange in the transition on this side compared to this side where it's a little bit more pink. But it's not an obvious difference between the two eyes, and if you didn't know what you were looking for, you really couldn't tell. And that's what we love about cheaper alternatives. Now here's the funny thing. After wearing both of these eyeshadow palettes all day for a straight 8 hours, they both creased, which is really interesting. And I have a feeling the only common factor between the two eyes was the NYX glitter glue application. So I'm not sure if that caused the creasing, but it did happen on both eyes. I do want to let you know that I have worn the Athena palette and the Desert Dusk palette separately after doing that wear test, and I didn't have any creasing issues or fading issues with either one. So unfortunately, I didn't really have that great of a wear test to share with you here, but I do want to let you know that both palettes are of sound quality and I would recommend both of them. As for swatches, here's a side-by-side comparison between both palettes. The dupe will be on top and the higher end will be on the bottom. No difference really between the swatches. There are some minor differences between eyeshadows like I had mentioned earlier, where the shades aren't exact from the Athena palette to the Desert Dusk palette, but the differences are so subtle that I am not going to pick on it. I mean, I feel like for the price difference and how much money you save, the Athena palette still is a really great alternative to the Desert Dusk palette. So if this is one that you have been eyeing, go for it. It's fantastic, and I was very impressed with the quality, pigmentation, color payoff, how well it lasted. It didn't fade, it didn't crease on other wear test days when I wore it, and I think that you will be most happy with it, especially with how much money you're saving compared to the Desert Dusk palette. I will have it linked for you below if you're not sure how to find the Shop Hush website. And if you have tried it out, feel free to share your thoughts on it below as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend ahead and hope you subscribe for more videos coming up in Money Saving March.